The afternoon sun filtered through my kitchen windows as I prepared lunch. My daughter Emma, 12 years old, with her father's dark eyes and my stubborn chin, sat at the counter doing homework. The doorbell rang just as I was slicing tomatoes. "I'll get it," Emma said, sliding off her stool. I heard my sister Victoria's voice before I saw her. Loud, confident, dripping with the kind of authority that came from 6 years at Meridian Tech Solutions as their senior marketing director. "Where's your mother?" Victoria swept into the kitchen wearing a cream Chanel suit that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Her designer handbag hit the counter with a thud. "I need to talk to you about Thanksgiving." "Hello to you too," I said, wiping my hands on a towel. Victoria ignored me, her attention fixed on her phone. "The family's coming to my place this year. I'm hosting. It's about time someone with actual standards took over." "Mom always hosts Thanksgiving," I said carefully. "Mom's getting old. Her house smells like mothballs. Mine has a professional kitchen, a dining room that seats 20, and it doesn't look like it's stuck in 1987. Victoria's eyes finally left her phone, scanning my modest kitchen with barely concealed disdain. Unlike some people's homes. Emma had returned to her homework, but I saw her shoulders tense. "So you're just announcing this?" I asked. "I'm informing you. There's a difference." Victoria pulled out a chair, then noticed something on the seat. "Is this cat hair? God, Sarah, do you ever clean?" "We don't have a cat." "Well, something's making this place look like a disaster." She sat down anyway, crossing her legs. Her shoes caught the light. Burgundy Louboutins, the red soles unmistakable. I knew those shoes. She'd posted about them on social media last week. $1,200. Victoria launched into her Thanksgiving plans. She'd hired a catering company. She'd arranged for a photographer. She'd selected a color scheme, burgundy and gold, very sophisticated, nothing tacky. Everyone would need to dress appropriately. She emphasized that last word while looking at Emma's faded jeans. "I expect everyone at 4 o'clock sharp," Victoria said. "That means you'll need to figure out transportation. I know your car is unreliable." "My car is fine. Sarah, I've seen it. It's embarrassing." She checked her phone again, typed something, then looked up. "Speaking of embarrassing, what's Emma wearing to Thanksgiving?" "I haven't thought about it yet." "Well, think about it. I'm not having her show up looking like she shops at thrift stores." Victoria's eyes landed on Emma. "No offense, honey, but your mother's fashion sense is questionable at best." Emma's pencil stopped moving. "Victoria, that's enough," I said quietly. "I'm being honest. You've always been sensitive about money, Sarah. It's not my fault you chose teaching over a real career." She stood up, smoothing her suit. "Anyway, I need to leave. I have a meeting at 4. That's when she noticed the scuff on her left shoe. Victoria's face transformed. She bent down, examining the mark like it was a personal attack. "This is unacceptable. These are brand new. I've worn them twice." "Maybe it happened on the way in," I suggested. "No, the sidewalk was clean. It was your driveway, that gravel you insist on keeping." She straightened, her expression hardening. "You know what? This is actually perfect timing." She walked over to Emma and placed the shoes on the counter in front of her. "Polish these." Emma looked up, confused. "What?" "Polish them. There's a scuff. I need it removed." Victoria's voice carried that corporate authority she used in meetings. "You can handle that, can't you?" "Victoria, she's doing homework," I said. "It'll take 5 minutes. I have shoe polish in my car." She was already heading for the door. "I'll get it. Emma, clear some space." I should have stopped her right there. But something in Victoria's tone, that casual cruelty disguised as a simple request, made me curious. I wanted to see how far she'd go. Victoria returned with a small leather case. She set it down, opened it, and pulled out polishing supplies that probably cost more than a regular person's entire shoe care collection. "Here's how you do it," Victoria said, demonstrating on her right shoe. "Small circles. Don't press too hard. This is Italian leather." She handed the cloth to Emma. "Your turn." Emma looked at me. I gave her a small nod. She took the cloth. "Good girl," Victoria said, "the way you'd praise a dog for sitting. This is a useful skill. God knows your mother never taught you about quality care." Emma worked quietly, her face carefully blank. She'd learned that expression from me, The one you wear when you can't afford to show emotion. See, this is good for you, Victoria continued, leaning against the counter. Learning how to handle expensive things properly. Since you probably won't own any yourself. She laughed, a bright, careless sound. No offense, Emma, but looking at your mother's life choices, you're probably headed down the same path. Teachers don't make money. Neither do people who clean shoes. Victoria, I said, my voice level. What? I'm being realistic. Someone needs to teach her about the real world. He watched Emma work. Polish them properly. That's all you're good for right now. Might as well learn to do it well. Emma's hand trembled slightly, but she kept polishing. Victoria checked her phone. I really do need to leave soon. That meeting is with the CEO. We're discussing my promotion to VP of Marketing. It's basically guaranteed. She smiled at her reflection in the window. Some of us worked hard and made something of ourselves. I pulled out my own phone and found the contact I was looking for. My finger hovered over the call button. You know what Emma should do? Victoria said. She should consider a trade school. Not everyone's college material. There's no shame in being a hairdresser or a maid. Someone has to do those jobs. I pressed call. The phone rang twice before she picked up. Sarah? Long time. Hi, Jessica, I said quietly. Are you busy? Victoria's head snapped up at the name. Jessica Park had been my college roommate. She'd gone into tech after graduation, climbed fast and hard. We'd stayed close but quietly. Jessica didn't like publicity. Never too busy for you, Jessica said warmly. What's up? I'm here with my sister Victoria. She works at Meridian Tech Solutions. Boss. Victoria Chin? Senior Marketing Director. That's her. Another pause, longer this time. Is everything okay? She's been telling my daughter about her upcoming promotion to VP of Marketing. The silence on the other end stretched. When Jessica spoke again, her voice had changed. Sarah, I need to ask you something. Has Victoria done something? I watched my sister's face drain of color as she recognized Jessica's name. Everyone at Meridian knew Jessica Park. He was the founder and CEO. She'd started the company 7 years ago in her garage, and now it was worth $800 million. She's having Emma polish her shoes, I said simply. She told her that's all she's good for. Your 12-year-old Emma? Yes. I heard Jessica take a breath. Can you put me on speaker? I did. You're on. Victoria Chin. Jessica's voice filled my kitchen, crisp and professional. This is Jessica Park. I'm going to ask you one question and I want a truthful answer. Did you tell a child that polishing shoes is all she's good for? Victoria's mouth opened. No sound came out. Answer me. She's my niece. I was just. Did you or did you not say those words? Victoria's eyes found mine, desperate. It was a joke. I didn't mean. Sarah has never asked me for anything, Jessica said. Not once in 15 years. Not when she was struggling after her divorce. Not when her daughter needed braces. Not when her school cut funding and she was buying classroom supplies with her own money. She's never once used our friendship for personal gain. Her voice hardened. So when she calls me to tell me one of my employees is abusing her daughter, I listen. Jessica, please, I didn't know. You didn't know Sarah was my friend? Or you didn't know it's unacceptable to treat children like servants? Jessica's tone could have frozen water. Let me be clear about something. Sarah and I met freshman year. We were roommates for 4 years. He helped me code my first website. She proofread my business plan. She believed in me when venture capitalists laughed me out of their offices. Victoria had gone completely pale. When I started Meridian, Sarah was the first person I told. She celebrated with me. She's been to my house. She knows my family. She's one of my closest friends. Jessica paused. And you just humiliated her daughter in front of her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Here's what's going to happen, Jessica said. You're going to apologize to Emma. A real apology. Then you're going to leave Sarah's house. Tomorrow morning you're going to come to my office at 8. We're going to have a conversation about professional conduct and corporate values. The promotion. What promotion? Jessica's voice was ice. Victoria, you were being considered for VP of Marketing. We're being. That consideration ended the moment you told a child she's only good for polishing shoes. Victoria's expensive handbag slipped from her fingers and hit the floor. But beyond that, we're going to discuss whether someone who treats children this way should hold any leadership position at my company, Jessica continued. I built Meridian on values of respect, dignity, and equality. You just demonstrated you have none of those. Please, I need this job. I have a mortgage. You have a mortgage on a house with a professional kitchen and a dining room that seats 20, I said quietly. You told me that 15 minutes ago. Jessica's voice softened slightly. Sarah, I'm sorry you had to call me about this. Emma, sweetheart, are you there? Yes, Emma said, her voice small. You are brilliant and capable and kind. What Victoria said to you is not true and never will be true. Do you understand me? Yes, ma'am. Good. Sarah, I'll call you later. Victoria, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Don't be late. Jessica hung up. The silence in my kitchen was absolute. Victoria stood frozen, her perfect suit suddenly looking like a costume. Emma still held the polishing cloth. Victoria, I said calmly. You heard Jessica. Apologize to Emma. My sister's face crumpled. Emma, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. I was just joking. I never meant to hurt you. That's not an apology, I said. That's an excuse. Victoria swallowed hard. Emma, I'm sorry I said those things to you. I'm sorry I made you polish my shoes. I'm sorry I was cruel. You deserved better. Emma nodded slowly. I'll leave, I said. Victoria grabbed her bag, her shoes forgotten on the counter. She walked to the door, then turned back. Sarah, I didn't know. You didn't know Jessica was my friend. But you did know Emma was your niece. You did know she was 12 years old. You did know she was doing homework. Kept my voice level. You knew all of that and you decided to humiliate her anyway. That's the part that matters. Victoria left without another word. Her car started in the driveway, gravel crunching under expensive tires. Emma was still sitting at the counter, the polishing cloth in her hands. I took it from her gently and threw it in the trash. Mom, she said quietly. Yes, baby. Is Aunt Victoria going to lose her job? I don't know. That's up to Jessica. I pulled Emma into a hug. But whatever happens, it's because of her choices, not yours. You understand that? Emma nodded against my shoulder. You and Miss Park are really friends? Best friends. Have been since we were 18. Why didn't you ever tell Aunt Victoria? I thought about that. Because Jessica doesn't like people knowing she's wealthy. She says it changes how they treat her. And I respected that more than I cared about impressing Victoria. Emma pulled back, looking at me with those serious eyes. Aunt Victoria's really mean, isn't she? Yes, sweetheart. She really is. My phone buzzed. A text from Jessica. Dinner next week? Bring Emma. I want to properly meet the young lady. I showed Emma the message. She smiled, small but genuine. Can we still have Thanksgiving at Grandma's? Emma asked. Absolutely. The burgundy Louboutins sat on my counter, one polished, one still scuffed. I picked them up and put them in a box. Victoria could figure out how to get them back. Emma returned to her homework. I finished making lunch. The afternoon sun continued filtering through the windows, but something had shifted. The air felt lighter. My phone rang again. Sarah, Victoria just called me crying about Thanksgiving, Mom said. What happened? She was rude to Emma. I handled it. She said something about her boss? Jessica Park. We went to college together. A long pause. The Jessica Park? From Meridian Tech. That's the one. Mom laughed, surprised. You never mentioned that. Jessica values her privacy. Well, Mom said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. I guess Thanksgiving's at my place after all. I'll make the turkey. You bring the sweet potatoes. And Sarah? Tell Emma her grandmother is very proud of her. I will, Mom. I hung up and watched Emma work through her math problems, her pencil moving steadily across the page. She was capable and smart and kind. She always had been. Victoria's words hadn't changed that. They never could. The next morning my phone buzzed at 8:15. Jessica, Victoria came in. We talked. She's on probation for 6 months. No promotion. Mandatory HR training on professional conduct. One more incident and she's done. Me, thank you. Jessica, thank you for finally letting me help. Dinner Thursday at 7? Me will be there. I showed Emma the messages over breakfast. She read them carefully, then looked up at me. Is Aunt Victoria going to be mad at us forever? She asked. Probably. But that's okay. We don't need people in our lives who treat us badly, even if they're family. Emma thought about that, then nodded. Miss Park sounds nice. She is. You'll like her. Does she really live in a big house? Huge. With a pool. And 3 rescue dogs. Emma's eyes lit up. Really? Really? She'll probably let you play with them. My daughter smiled, genuine and bright, and I knew we'd be okay. Victoria's cruelty had revealed something, not about Emma's worth, but about the strength of friendships built on respect instead of status. The burgundy shoes stayed in their box. Victoria never asked for them back. I donated them 3 weeks later. They were just shoes after all. And Emma? She was so much more than anyone's tool for polishing them.